is Regina, or Otter of Lore, and this is my brand new recording studio, also known as The Floor. I have a tripod now though, so that makes it a lot easier to record videos, but I mean, I would need a camera to actually record them properly, so I'm just recording them on my phone. It's still a lot better than just hanging my phone off of something or rigging up a weird thing out of pipe cleaners. Anyways, this is a notebook that I found recently, one of two. These are two notebooks that I probably bought at the same time, probably at Michael's craft store. And they are from 2015, this one, and 2016, the other one. So I'm going to do two sketchbook tours. This is the first one, and probably I'm going to have to do that one in a separate video because I already tried recording this notebook and it took too long just to record part of this, which is why I'll try to be going a little faster. So this is my Inktober 2015, and as you can see, this is a zombie. I was working on trying to make her more gory and things like that, and this picture I'm not very happy with. I like watching other people's sketchbook tours, so I thought that it would be cool to do my own. And this is a lot of very old art, and some of it I'm still fairly proud of, which seems to be a thing that's unique and rare on YouTube, especially ones like this one, where I probably use references and things like that, and I ended up being very happy with it. And, oh, this one's a Steven Universe Gemsona. Some of these are in pencil, some of them are in ink, as in later, because part of this notebook is Inktober 2015, which is where you draw in ink for all of October. Oh yes, this one is also one that I was pretty happy with. The whole notebook was when I was starting college in 2015. I think I was probably starting college in 2015. I don't know what else I would have been doing. Since I was proud of the kind of art that's in here, I like this one. I mean, there's a lot of improvement my art's gone through, but I'm happy to show kind of where my process of learning began in stuff like this. I like, you know, knowing that I've improved, but also looking at some of my old art and being like, wow, I don't hate that, because that's a part that it takes a long time to get to as an artist. And I find it really difficult to look at. I find it really difficult to document my artistic progress when just looking at online stuff. Just I'll look through my digital gallery, and that's a lot different than looking at stuff in real life. Part of it is kind of like, if you look here, like, look at that shimmery moon, you know? It's just like little details like that you miss when you scan digital art, and that makes it feel a lot more special to find these notebooks and go through them, even though I've already uploaded all of this stuff. This is a character from my comic Crystalline, which I will talk about her eventually. This is just a marker drawing, and you'll find there are a lot of old characters, Alex being one of them from Crystalline, but also this angel from a story that I wrote when I was very young. Well, not very young, but in high school. Sometimes during Inktober you have to go a little fast, and things end up a little rushed. You don't finish coloring things, which is part of the fun of it. Maybe I'll try and do it this year. It's really like striking a balance between, you know, what color you can get on the page and just wanting to do something every single day. And I've always found that really difficult. I'm not even sure if I completed October 2015 fully, or I've completed some other years, but this one I'm not so sure about. Although there is a lot in here. But it kind of skips around. Like, it says 14 here, and then back there, like, the first page of this is 8. So I'm not sure where days 1 through 7 went. And these were bats, and this seems to be some sort of ink or maybe watercolor. I think it must have been watercolor, just because of how it textured the paper. But I do have inks. They're actually right here. I'm using them to show where my camera is. Like, where my camera covers. I don't know how to explain that. Anyways. Also, a lot of this was inspired by looking at other people's sketchbook tutorials, I think. A lot of traditional art I didn't really do because, well, not because, but I didn't finish my traditional art because I just left it as sketches because of the fact that all of the artists I followed did digital art and I felt like I couldn't get to the same standards. And recently I've been rediscovering traditional art, so I'm happy to find this old stuff that I did at one point when I enjoyed drawing on paper a lot. More characters from my mouse comic, although this was like a different mouse comic within my mouse comics universe. This is a weeping angel inspired by Doctor Who, probably. A creeper inspired by Minecraft with the little matching Inktober symbol. Oh, look at that. Kind of proud of that guy. Really liked Minecraft at this time. I still like Minecraft, it's a cute game. A little stuff like this. I don't do a lot of characters very close to the screen. They're almost always like this big. Like their faces are almost always this big. So something like this was unique for me. Oh, I thought this was really creative at the time, but maybe it's, you know, not that great. But I like the mask idea. It says, why is a blank face so scary? But it says mask under where it says face. Wow, creative. Amazing. And a lot of these bled through because the paper's really thin, so there's just one per set of pages, which is good because otherwise this video would take forever. This is a character drawn for a friend of mine. Her name is Spooks, and she is kind of a magical creature, and she lives in like a fantasy woods. And this was kind of like a Shakespearean reference. This page is mysteriously blank. Well, let's keep going. Oh, concept art for my comic Crystalline, and I was trying to decide what kind of things the mice would ride. And this was back when I was deciding on birds, and I actually decided on this bird. It's in more of my recent drawings, and I think in my other sketchbook tour is a picture of this character, this like bird character that she ends up riding around. Although she ends up being a lot smaller on its back. And I decided not to do like a tall skinny bird. I decided to do this kind of fat round bird. Because it's like a little dodo bird. A swamp thing. A lot of this, the nice thing about Inktober is it gets you so much out of your comfort zone. Grass is still a thing that I'm not very good at doing. But I do like the monster and the black and white background. I think you can see this on camera, but there's a difference between this black and this black. Because this black was drawn with a pen, with a Pentel brush pen, and those take a really long time to dry. Or I might have been running out of ink when I was doing this part, because I did it in Sharpie, and it's a kind of bluish black instead of the like darker black that the Pentel ink brush pen is. This looks like just a witch character, a sketch. Oh, these are the characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas playing video games. Like playing a little zombie video game. But this was a comic. It was about intrusive thoughts about love and finding love, which I never finished, but I was like, I can do characters that look like this if I ever decide to make a comic. I never decided to make a comic, but if I did, I feel like that would be the kind of style I would go with. It's okay, 2016 or 2015 me, you'll find love eventually, it's fine. This was based off a thing I did in high school, a drawing that I did in high school of a skeleton, like kind of melting with flowers, I think. This character shows up in my next book really extensively, so I think my next sketchbook, which the other one from so this one's from 2015, the one from 2016 isn't finished. Like it's got a lot of empty spaces, so I imagine I'm probably going to show these characters and describe more of their story in that one because it has the comic that I started writing like to go along with this. And yeah, she's a kind of Frankenstein-like monster who can wear the head of one of her 3 components. This is a My Little Pony pun, Marty McTwy. This is one of the kinds of things that made me not want to do more traditional art, because I drew this picture and I was really proud of it, and I couldn't get it to scan so it looked good, and that was one of the things that made me feel like maybe doing traditional art is just not good because like other people can't see it on the internet, like I don't know. And I wanted to, you know, get my art there, which I still want to do now. Just I guess why I'm doing this video. A rat? This is another thing, I don't usually draw characters very big. Just like I don't draw faces very big, I draw characters fairly small. This one was a happy accident. I think I spilled blue ink or something all over her. So she was supposed to be a witch, but she ended up being a wintry witch because there was blue ink on the page. This was a statistic that I learned, that a third of shelter cats are black, and that shelter cats aren't as adoptable, supposedly. I don't know if I ever found the statistics to actually back this up, but I had a cat growing up that was black, and actually he would have been alive at the time that this was recorded, or not recorded, that this was drawn, and I have another black cat now, or at least my dad has a black cat now at his house, and so black cats being adopted was kind of important to me, so I did this little PSA around Halloween. A blank page. I think I did these blank pages sometimes because I was worried ink would bleed through and damage the other drawing. So this is a scarecrow protecting some little birdies. This is also Inktober, and I remember not being happy with it at the time, but I like the concept. Oh, this is Frodo? Is this Frodo or Bilbo? Oh, shoot. This would have been Bilbo Baggins when I read The Hobbit, probably for the first time, maybe the second time. He meets lots of spiders. I do like how I drew the spiders a lot, although I don't think it's anatomically correct at all. I like their little faces, like that. Another dragon that I wasn't happy with. The nice thing about this sketchbook is it's full of weird things, and I'm not happy with some of them, but then I end up being really happy with others. And some of it's just stylistic. Like, I don't think this is a bad drawing. I don't like it as much as I like this one, probably because this one's more colorful and cartoony. And this one was drawn partially with some sort of gel pen. I don't know if you can see that, but it's one of the things that makes it kind of nice, is it's like shiny. And it's like textured if you run your hand over it, which is another thing that you completely miss when you scan a piece of traditional art and make it digital, is that you lose that kind of reflection. This is supposed to be Steven Universe fan art in the same kind of style, but as with a lot of things, when I try to translate it to fan art, it doesn't work out. I don't know why. It's just like I enjoyed making this little character, and then I tried to do fan art and it didn't turn out. I just lost motivation, I mean. This picture is my fursona. Yes, I have a fursona. This is her. She's an otter. She's purple. And, while I might be, at the moment, I'm a little less colorful than this picture implies, I really like this picture. I'm kind of, like, proud of it. It's made of Sharpies and highlighters and gel pen. And it's very colorful, it's very bright, it's got these nice little patterns. And in case anyone is wondering why she has pink hair, it's not just because she's a fursona. I actually dyed my hair pink at the end of high school. It's not pink anymore. I should dye it pink again, to be honest. Anyways, a person I drew on the bus. I'm not a stalker, I promise. And then my mouse character, Alex, and her sword looks way different now. And her style kind of looks different, but this is a lot more detailed and, like a lot of the other pictures, a different kind of size-wise. She takes up the whole thing and is bigger than the whole thing, so it's kind of unusual. Another piece of fan art with gel pen that just didn't turn out well for some reason, of Pearl from Steven Universe. And this I don't think you can see on camera. It was a revision of a steampunk mermaid I made when I was younger. So it was kind of a redraw of something, but I never finished it. This was a redraw of a dragon that I painted on a girl's arm in high school, I think. And it was like a rainbow dragon that went from like pink all the way to like the opposite of pink. I guess red on the tail, probably. Wherever she is, I hope you're having a good time, Spencer. Wherever you are out there. And oh, the clown character that I showed earlier took a lot of flipping, but I got there. This character is, here's a more detailed version. When I was thinking up her story, I made them names, but I never finished it. I was gonna draw all three of them, but I guess Silva, the main character, the one with the pigtails, was the only one who got a name. That's one of her sisters. And a dog that just didn't turn out well. An angel, the same angel as before, but a little different in this picture. I don't really like how, I wish her pose was more dynamic, but I like what I did with the pens here. I've done a lot more artwork with pens recently, and it kind of reminds me of this. And there's a lot more artwork kind of like this in my other notebook. This character I was really happy with because I don't like, we don't usually use this medium. I think this might be crayon. It's either crayons or some sort of pencil that's very waxy. And it looks really nice. And I think I was really, really impressed that it turned out so well because it was some cheap art supply. Not that pencils themselves are cheap, but I'm not very good at using them. And they would have been cheap ones. A completely erased sketch, I guess. That's just a head. Just a head. A character that shows up more in the next notebook. Once again, her name is Agatha, and she's kind of an anthropomorphic Pegasus character. Naked, not allowed, illegal. It's an elf, I think, some sort of elf. So it's not illegal, right? It's fine. A character? I don't know, this is just a character, I guess. More gel pen. Didn't turn out so well because I don't know about that, like the dark blue and the bright blue. I like her dress, although it's a little colorful for what I had in mind for her character. I'm not sure what this goblin creature is. Like a goat, maybe? I don't know. This was when I was really into The Sims 3. Although at the time, I don't know if I had a computer that could run it. Maybe this is the character I have on my laptop. Her name is her name is Ariel. And this might be Ariel. It might be someone else. I don't know. One of my characters with red hair recently got corrupted, though, and it makes me very sad because, like, her entire file is currently unusable. I really like playing The Sims, but whatever. Here's a bat anthropomorphic character, and this looks like a character with chicken wings, but it's actually Agatha from the other page. More of Agatha's story. I mean, not more of it, but here's part of Agatha's story. She was in a kind of forest. I didn't realize I had this in here. I didn't notice this while looking through. And there are lots of, like, big mushrooms and things like that, and I had an idea for a comic. Oh, this was when I was into Miraculous Ladybug, too. These are, this was drawing practice. It was trying to create shadows, and then on the next page, you can see I you could see through the page to the dark spot. And so I lined it and made a character out of each one of them. I tried to make it unique and not predictable, per se, as to what the character would look like versus what was on the other page. Agatha again. I was trying to learn to use my Pentel brush pen at the time because I had seen a lot of artists online use them, and I wasn't very good at it at the time. I needed a lot of practice. This isn't even accurate anymore because I don't use Tumblr that much, and I use Instagram now for artwork, so just ignore this. I was trying to do a kind of different style for Agatha's comic, which would have involved a deep, spooky forest, so that was what this was kind of trying to go for. And the forest was, the forest had flowers in front of it, and the town had flowers all the way up to its gate. And part of the story was that nobody in the town was allowed past the flowers, and that was inspired by the Wizard of Oz, I believe, because it was like basically the field of poppies where someone would go to sleep, except probably like more ominous, I guess. A couple of just weird looking characters. Here's like a weird bird thing. Weird alligator thing. Agatha, character work, I guess? I don't know. Character design. This was drawn for someone on Twitter. And yeah, so part of the story was that Agatha's friend had gotten lost in this forest and as a child, so she had gone to find her. Ballerina. And this is me tallying the eye colors of all my characters. This one is my persona. And the next page I did recently. This is the watercolor pencils I recently bought. They were on my Instagram. Very cheap watercolor pencils, Faber-Castell. Only a few pages of this notebook left. Most of them are blank except for this one, which is a redraw of another picture in this book. This picture I decided to redraw because I liked it, and I kind of accidentally redrew something from the other book, so I felt like this book deserved some attention too. And it was a nice way of, you know, seeing style changes and things like that. And I think more than anything was my ability to, my more recent ability to use references that made this picture a lot different than the other one. Because this was probably like an unreferenced cat, and this was a referenced picture of a Sphinx cat, which is what this was supposed to be, this original picture. And I kind of couldn't decide between, like, should these be cartoony, and things like that, like exactly how cartoony I should go. And the eye here kind of turned out strange, but I was happy with it otherwise, and I decided to leave it a pencil sketch, and also not really do much detail on these eyes, because it was just kind of an exercise to see what simple things had improved, because the other one wasn't very detailed either. And also, these eyes, they took so long. I understand why I didn't finish the other one, because these eyes took so long. But I do love her bat ears. The last thing in this notebook is these. As a replacement for the last few pages, you can see some sticky notes I made a long time ago. This one is just a sim talking about aliens. And then I liked this one a lot. It says Cosmic Babe, and it's a kind of retro looking lady with a ray gun. So I guess this is the end of the tour, and thank you for watching if you've stayed this long or if you skipped to the end of the video. I'm glad I went through it. It was nice to be able to talk about it, and it's going to be nice to have a record of this book. Maybe if I lose the book, or just, you know, in the future if I want to look at what I said about my drawings. I don't know, maybe I'll forget why I drew all these things. And I hope whoever watched it enjoyed it too, and thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more very old videos, although I guess that will get old quickly, and I probably don't have enough to keep up that kind of content forever. So, content. So, just, you know, if you want to see drawing videos, then hopefully I'll be doing those in the future and things like that. And thank you, and goodbye. Ooh, a spider. Look at that spider. I live in a basement now, and there are spiders. I don't know if you saw that one because he's very light. Maybe I can bring him back to the camera. Oh, there he is. Oh, he started kind of running over. Anyways, I wanted to go through my old art because I don't have anything else to do. And I keep trying to show it to people and they don't care. So I'm showing it to you, YouTube, because maybe you'll care as much as the spider cares. Let's see now if I cut the spider out, it'll be weird. But anyways, this notebook is the earlier one. It's from 2015. He's kind of a scaredy cat, this spider.